With Elena around the corner, Street Fighter 6 Season 2 is just about wrapped up, so I thought let's take a quick look at the current meta and give my own opinion on some tier lists, as well as go over some of the tier lists that some of the best players in the world have put out recently, and just put a little bow tie on this season before we finally get to Season 3. I'm praying that the game gets shaken up a lot, so hopefully what we see today is not what we'll see in a few weeks. Anyway, so rather than just pure results or anything, I'm gonna take into results, but I kind of want to talk about this tier list from a vibes point of view. When I watch these characters, when I play against them, when I try to lab them, how I feel, right? That being said, I don't think it's going to be that crazy from a lot of the other tier lists. So I want to look quickly at Punk and Broski's because they both released one relatively recently. So this was Punk's, I'll link it in the description. I highly suggest you check it out. He talks about every character in depth, and this is one that I agree with quite a bit, but I will make a few changes. And when I look at Broski's, it's very, very similar. You know, you have Akuma, Rashid, Ken in the high tiers, Akuma, Rashid, Ken. Guile's up there, Guile's up there. In general, they're similar, and I highly suggest you check it out because they both go into depth about each individual character. But I also want to chime in on just kind of how I've been feeling, you know, the vibes. And I'm going to agree with both of them in that I think Akuma is the best character in the game, and right behind him, I'm going to put Ken. I don't know if this is hot take or anything. I feel like people like putting Ken. Everyone likes to say he's really good, but no one likes to put him very high. These two characters, I think about them similarly in that I feel like there's just nothing wrong with them. With Akuma, you could say, oh, he has 9,000 health. Okay, cool. But in general, they both have good buttons. They both have good walk speed. They both have good damage, good corner carry, good throw loops, whatever. Like, you can't tell me something legitimately bad. At most, my cat's going crazy. What's that? Anyway, at most, you could say that Ken's fireball is not that good, but it's still like a pretty good fireball. Especially, you know, his EX fireball, he gets, because it keeps you standing, he gets follow-ups after. Like, anything that's bad about these characters, it's not that it's literally bad, it's just that other characters have something that could be better. And the next kind of tier of characters, although they're all in the S tier, I think they have maybe a few slight more weaknesses, but they're also in that tier of just like, they're good all around and they're just crazy at what they do. First one is Rashid. I don't need to mention much. I think his level 2 is the best in the game. I think his only like weakness is that some of his buttons are a little more stubby than some of the characters you'll see around him, but he makes up for it with great pressure, amazing level 2, great corner carry. You know the deal by now. I don't need to go too hard into it. In that same regard, I think Bison's literal only weakness is he does not have a DP. Besides that, I think he's best in class at like damage, corner pressure. Just he puts you in a lot of situations where you feel like helpless. If he had a DP, I literally think I'd put him first, but he does not, and I think that's quite a big disadvantage in this game, but the rest of his kit just makes up for it. Next up, I would also put Guile. Where is he? Boom. He's similar to Bison in that he has like a lot of best in class stuff, but he has like an obvious weakness, right? He doesn't have like a legit throw loop. He doesn't have a cancelable crouch medium kick, which matters, but he's just so good at what he does that it does not matter. And yeah, I don't think I need to talk more about them, but yeah, that's my top 5. It's kind of funny. I said that this shouldn't be results based, but now that I look at it, the last 2 tournaments I watched, they had a bunch of Guiles in top 8. Bonchan won one and Tokido won the other, so maybe it is results based. I don't know. Either way, as we continue, I'm going to say I put Mai up next. She's very similar in that she's extremely well rounded. Her EX fan is the stupidest move in the game. I agree. And there's not much to complain about her. I think she's just a little less well rounded than these two, but she makes up for it with having a stupid ass EX fan. Her DP is lackluster, and obviously her fireball is like one of the quote-unquote worst. You'd obviously rather still have it, but when you're fighting against other characters like Guile and Akuma, even Ken, it can be scary to throw your own fireball because if they throw a similarly strength one back at you, you're gonna get punish countered. I would say her main weakness is that her fireball is not great when you're fighting other characters with good fireball. So obviously her EX fan, she throws it, you block it, it's amazing. But like, it's kind of scary to throw EX fan and then Ken also threw his EX, or so did Akuma or Guile, whatever, because then you get punish counter. Some of these characters get full combos. Another weakness she has that's not talked about that much, but it doesn't matter sometimes. She doesn't have a good 5-frame move that kind of just reaches to punish some moves like, you know, Bison scissor kicks, whatever. She feels a little awkward in some of these scrambles. That being said, she has other moves that are kind of make up for it, like her crouch medium punch is really good, but overall, she's quite clearly super strong, and she might be the literal easiest character in the game. So if you're new, just think she's here. Throw some EX fans and throw loop people. Okay, next up I think is Ed. I think Ed is an extremely well-rounded character. He has a few like minor weaknesses that I don't think matter that much. I feel like Ed players gonna get mad at me for saying that, but some of the best neutral in the game, really good normals. His DP is kind of whatever. Some of the nerfs the game a little funny, but overall I feel like he's really good. He's one of the harder characters, right? If you want to get the most out of him, you have to be really on point. You have to be getting those dream combos. So in that regard, he's a bit harder. but when everything's going well, I think he's still one of the best characters in the game. Next up, I put Cammy up here. This is a huge S tier, I know, but I legitimately think all of these characters are like front runners to do well at tournaments. And she's going to be our final character in S tier. I think she's just been nerfed a little too many times, but overall, she's still good, right? She's another character where she's like pretty good at everything, but I don't think she's particularly crazy at anything except her, you know, her dive kick can be super annoying for some characters to deal with. So yeah, overall, every single character in this tier, I would not be surprised a single bit if they won a major. Honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised with the 8 tier either, but I think they're a little bit lower. And the first character I'm going to put in that tier is Zangief. Zangief, honestly, he should probably up here, but I feel like this tier is getting a little too big. Nah, whatever, I'll put him here. I think Zangief's another character. I wouldn't be that surprised if he won a tournament. He's just like, kind of stat checks you. He's not the best with like the system mechanics, or on paper it feels like you should be able to deal with him, but he kind of has answers to everything, and when he gets snowballing, it's just you die so fast. He eats at your drive gauge just by, if you just block against this character, you feel like you're losing. If you try jumping out, you're gonna get hit. He just does a lot of things well, but he has like classic Zangief weaknesses, but I don't think they're like that bad in this game, so I do think I'm gonna put him in the S tier as well. Next up, I'm gonna put Juri at the top of A tier. I think she's just very slightly worse than these characters. She struggles against some of these characters who have really good fireballs. Her damage is a little bit worse than some of these other characters. I feel like she's, honestly, if I had to balance Street Fighter 6 in the most, if I could just tell ChatGPT or Copilot to balance, you know, I would say make Juri's power level the highest in the game. Do you know what I mean? If every character was about as strong as Juri or worse, I think this would be a very good game. I think these characters are all a little bit too good, just slightly. But I think from Juri onwards, that's where it feels the most honest. Not that Juri's honest, her drive rush is stupid as shit, but the kind of power level she's at is what I think would be really good for this game. That being said, I don't think season 3 should even play the same, so that doesn't really mean anything. Next up, I have Aki. I think Aki is, it's weird. I actually sometimes would tell you she's like here, like literally next to Mai, because I feel like she does some of the same shit. Like to me, it makes no sense that people say that Mai is like this super brain dead, throws fans, like she is, by the way. But people say Aki's hype. I swear 85%, 99% of the Akis you play are Fireball Drive Rush the character. They have cooler combos and cooler setups, I agree, sure. But like their overall game plan, it feels so stale to me, and it's strong. It's like legitimately strong. Her Fireball's slower, which makes it worse, but it doesn't like straight up lose to other Fireballs the same way Mai's does. She follows it very well. She gets insane fucking damage if she poisoned you. She's similar to Bison, where I think like her only real weakness is no reversal, even though she kind of has a reversal to strikes to get out of the corner. But I do think she's a little more fair than some of these other characters. But again, I don't get why people say she's hype. I'm just being honest. I think she's like, even when I watch some of the best Akis, I don't see it. Next up, I'll put JP, the $1 million character. JP is a character who I feel like a lot of his nerfs got reverted, and he's slightly worse than it used to be. So either he was a little overrated back in the day, because like I don't think he's that much worse. Never mind. I forgot how much fucking damage he got off his reversal wake up, like that on throws too. That was stupid. Never mind. He's quite a bit worse. Either way, I do think he's in a good spot now. Like JP's a character I usually hate fighting against these kind of characters, but I enjoy fighting JP. I feel like he's very well put together. It feels like you're interacting with his zoning, and if he's making the right raids, it feels like his zoning lasts forever. But it's like up to him to guess how you're going to get in, and I like that. I actually really like JP as a character, the way he's designed, and he's pretty fun to fight. Next up, I'll put Terry. Honestly, Terry is a character that I feel like he should be up here too. Like, I don't play him, but when I'm watching him, I don't get why he's like worse than these characters that are like do very similar things. Like he has very good corner carry, he has good damage, his standing heavy punches. Plus, I think some of his normals aren't that great. His crush medium kick is amazing, but maybe his stand heavy, I don't know. I actually don't know what's that bad about him, and I feel like I'm getting baited. Where did these guys put him? Terry was super low on the B tier, end of S tier. Around the same way I have him, except he has some other characters higher. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Terry. To me, he just seems like a very well-rounded character, but he's just a little more honest than like the other characters who fit that bill as well. So for now, I'll put him here, but I think it would take very little to make Terry like up here. Very little. Next up, I'll put Ryu. Pretty much the same stuff I said about Terry. I think he's a little more honest than these characters. I don't think Ryu's actually honest. I feel like people have this misconception that Ryu players are like the fundamental gods of Street Fighter, where half them are just whiffing fucking donkey kicks, and like half them whiff sweeps for some reason. Why are people just pressing sweeps in neutral? I don't get it. That being said, I do think Ryu's good. His Hashogeki is an insanely good move. His donkey kick's an insanely good move. I think Ryu's just a really strong character. If some of these better characters get nerfed, I can see Ryu becoming a big threat. Okay, and then I'm gonna go down to the B tier actually. Not yet. I'm gonna put Blanka and DeeJay, I'm going to go a little bit fast. I don't want to talk too much. These are two characters that are nerfed, but I still feel like they're incredibly strong. Does anyone on the planet enjoy fighting either one of these characters? They kind of feel hard to fight, right? Like they both, it's funny because I didn't mean to put them beside each other until I looked down, but they both have like these similar traits where they're a little limited by nature, but they have like very unique things that are hard to deal with. And yeah, I think overall they're both just extremely solid. Okay, I'm gonna go down to the next tier. I'm gonna put Luke. I don't want to talk too much about Luke. I just think he's overall good. He's like, he feels pretty honest to me. What people used to think about Ryu were like, this guy's just honest, fundamentally good. I feel like when I fight Luke players, that's what I think now. I don't think he needs to be buffed by any means. Like he can compete with every single character here. He's a bit weaker than these characters, but as I said, these ones are a little too strong in my opinion. And he's good. Nothing to really complain about. Chun Li kind of struggles by not having a throw loop. Besides that, I think she's extremely well balanced and well rounded. Very good walk speed, very good normals, good corner carry, cool little setups. I really just think that if throw loops got removed, she would just go up super high because that's one of the big things keeping her back, and Guile would be the best character in the game if that happened. And next up in this tier, I'd actually put Kimberly. I think after her buff, she's quite a good character. Honestly, the only thing I think keeping Kimberly back now is her lack of a reversal. Overall, she's very solid. Her neutral is much better after the last changes. She has much better pressure because she can frame trap you after her stand heavy punch like for free. Overall, yeah, not much bad to say about Kimberly. I think she's in a really good spot. Again, it's not that she's particularly weak. She can compete. I think if a Kimberly player legitimately wanted to turn me, I wouldn't be that surprised. It's just that I think these characters are a little over the top right now, so she might have some trouble against some of them. Next up, I'm actually going to go down to the C tier. I'm going to put Manon. I think she's okay. She's actually pretty annoying to fight, right? She has some pretty good normals. When she gets too many medals, you're just holding up and then she just hits you for 1,000,000 damage anyway because she knows you're scared. But her drive rush is actually pathetic. She doesn't have a cancelable crouch medium kick, so she kind of gets gapped by system mechanics. As a character herself, I think she's extremely good though. But yeah, she can't really abuse system mechanics the same way other characters can. After Manon, I would actually put Honda. I think Honda, people think of him as a gimmick. I think he's fine. I mean, look, he's this low on the tier list, so obviously he's not. But I think he can compete. Like, some of his normals are really good. He can get some plus frames. He's just kind of scary to fight in neutral depending on who you are sometimes. I think it would take a little bit to make this character really good, but people talk about him as if he's like a lost cause and he's just a full gimmick, which I don't really agree with. I think he's not bad. And next up after that, I would actually put Lily. I think I don't want to talk because I'll feel like I'm talking shit. I think this character is so fucking boring, but when she gets going, she's pretty good. I would not be opposed if she got reworked a little bit. I feel like she's kind of one note, and when that one note is strong, she feels very oppressive, but when it's not, she's like she just feels like incomplete. I don't even know what to say. I actually tried playing Lily because I wanted to get into playing a grappler in this game. I tried some Zangief as well. I tried some Manon. I tried all of them, honestly. And there's something about Lily where I couldn't do it. I don't know how people do it. But if you enjoy Lily, hey, all the power to you. And lastly, on this tier, I'm going to put Jamie. Jamie is kind of the opposite of Manon, and I feel like he's pretty good at the system mechanics. Like, he has a good throw loop. He has a good drive rush. His DP is kind of a joke sometimes. Like, it just misses against a lot of shit for no reason. But besides that, he just kind of struggles because he has to drink, right? If this character started the game at 1 or 2 drinks and you just ignored the concept of drinking, I think he'd be a really good character. But it's just awkward. Like, I've actually been playing a lot of Jamie. It's a video I've been working on where I want to talk about, does playing a low tier character make you worse? Are you actually working that much harder? And I've been playing a lot of Jamie, and I want to get Jamie to the same level I got to my Cammy. So Cammy's a character I made. After I do, I want to reflect, was it that much harder? So far, I honestly don't think it's significantly harder. Like, it is in that you kind of lose out on some privilege stuff, but just by the way this game works, like I said, Jamie has a throw loop, he has a drive rush, sometimes you hit someone and you fucking snowball the game. But it does feel like you are working harder because you reset to neutral more often. His DP is kind of a joke. He has some little things that kind of bother me, but overall, I do think he's a fine character. I would not be surprised if a Jamie player does incredibly well at a big tournament. I think a lot of them have been actually recently. And even seeing that, I don't think he's one of the better characters. I just think that, you know, the game Street Fighter 6 allows some of the worst characters to be like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on the game. I think the game itself allows bad characters to do well because of the way the game works right there. As long as your character has a drive rush, a throw loop, like you can make shit happen, right? But I also think the game itself is just also really well balanced. So even though this says C and D tier, I don't think these characters are like legitimately garbage. If I showed you a C and D tier in a lot of older games, you'd be like, wow, those characters are dog shit. But I think Jamie could compete. I think any of these characters can like perform in a tournament and like make a wave, but they're just probably way less likely to do so because these other characters are more consistent with slightly better options in a lot of different areas, right? And lastly, I'm going to put Dhalsim as the second worst, and I do think Marisa is the worst character in the game. I think Marisa kind of has the same issues I talked about with Manon, where she doesn't really have good like system mechanics. She doesn't have a throw loop, her drive rush is whatever. She kind of loses to other system mechanics as well. Like she doesn't have a really good answer to drive rush, and she gets parried I think a lot for free. Not for free, but because a lot of her like big normals have a lot of startup, people will like reactionarily just parry late because they don't want to take drive damage, and they'll end up perfect parrying her. Dhalsim also I think same idea. Not like these characters don't play the same at all, but I think their kits in general are okay, but I feel like the system mechanics don't help them in any way. Like Dhalsim kind of gets rushed down by characters that probably shouldn't rush him down. The defensive options in this game aren't particularly good, so he kind of has to work a lot harder than, you know, a character like Jamie, who I don't think is significantly better than Dhalsim. When Jamie hits me, if he already has like 1 or 2 drinks and he just knocked me down, I might just get snowballed on, right? He might throw loop me, he might shimmy me once for a fuck ton of damage. Whereas I feel like Dhalsim is not particularly scary in that regard. He kind of has to hit me a lot. And then Marisa kind of, she's not like that where she can kill you in like 2 hits, but I feel like she's kind of swinging for the fence. When you lose to Marisa, it's not even this is like, I feel like I'm just flaming players now. I don't feel like I lost to some like crazy raid or something. I feel like they gambled on some shit, they hit me, and that's it. But like it was in my favor to win that gamble, but I fucking guessed wrong. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So I feel like she can win, she can beat a lot of these characters, but I wouldn't bet on it to happen consistently. So yeah, that's my tier list. You might ask me, why is there so many characters up here? I think there's a lot of good characters in this game. Again, as I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if a single character in this S or A tier, even some of these Bs, won a tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if literally any character made a top 8 for like a major. The game is well balanced. We'll see if season 3 continues that trend. I really hope that they do remove some throw loops and balance the game around some other stuff. We'll see. Let me know about the season 3 changes you would like to see. I'll see you next time. Stay beautiful, my friends.